Hi there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading. This is Yetta Pearl, and this is your general angel reading for the week of May 30th through June 5th. So we're just going to take a few minutes here and get the best cards out of the deck for you. So the cards come out by, interesting. I'll tell you in a minute. The cards come out by vibration. So, whatever your energy is vibrating at, your angels, your intuition, your collective consciousness, whatever language you choose to use, whatever is a like vibration to you, that's what's going to come out of the decks. And indeed, that's which decks come forward. I use my hand, my senses, and I kind of hover over top of the decks, and it stops me at the deck that it wants me to use. The energy being it, right? And so that's how I choose everything, and that's how things come out. Okay, so what's so interesting? I'm going to just look here for a second. Beautiful. What's so interesting is that the first two cards that came out are the same, or very, very similar messages as what just came through for Gemini. So, if you're kind of on the cusp of, you could be Gemini, you could be Cancer, it's a combination. Like those messages are for the whole, all the Geminis and all the Cancers. And so let's start with that. To share what you know, to share your talent. Cancer, it feels like you regularly do this anyway, but there's something specific, I think, coming up that you know about, and it feels really, really random. Like it's something that you happen to know, right? Now, there's probably no such thing as truly random. If you know something, it's because you need to know it, right? But it feels like one of those irrelevant facts almost, that somehow it's going to be very beneficial, that somebody needs to know this. And so, and perhaps it's even just the way you word it, right? That makes it somebody who's heard this 100 times before, but now they heard it in the way you put the words together, that now they can go ding, 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 ding. Now I understand, right? And so please don't hesitate. Like anytime there's a discussion, or there's just a gathering, friends, two people even just talking, share what you know. It's not only your personal experiences and things like that, but it's something that's going to directly benefit the other people. And so for Gemini, this was their creations, their craftiness, their dexterity with their hands, the things that they've made, so artwork, right? That they are to not be shy in sharing that with the world around them. And so this is the same for you, just maybe not with the same dexterity of the hands. It is though sharing your talent and what you know. Yeah. So it feels almost like a teaching moment, and you're very aware of that teaching moment. And so some of the time that'll be how that is. Some of the time you won't really be aware of the impact of what you say on other people. It'll just be a thing that that comes up, that happens. Okay. All right. Now, seems to me, okay, and here's the second card that's the same. This one's exactly the same as Gemini. And this is Mother Mary. Mother Mary is the ultimate mother. So no matter what your earthly mother is or was like, Mother Mary is always available to you. She is so supportive, and she just loves you. And so when you need comfort, this is who to call upon. So it's like you're having this bit of a downer moment. Not the same as what Gemini's was. This is your own. This is separate. But it's like you just need a bit of support, a bit of comfort. And to begin with, you can ask for and receive that from some of the people around you. That is absolutely true. And some of those people around you actually have a similar kind of energy, vibration as Mother Mary does. So certainly draw upon that and let yourself receive that comfort. Okay. You have freedom. You always have a choice, is what the horse says. So wild horses, there's something about wild horses. For some of you, that's a significant part of what this is that's being talked about, wild horses. They're not giving me any more information than that, just so take that and run with it if that applies to you. But so this freedom, a certain amount of what you've been feeling like are limitations are, like, if you changed your perspective, you would discover that they are not actually limitations. I'm not sure specifically what they're talking about. Sometimes our mind, though, will lead us to believe that we cannot do certain things. It's maybe a lack of confidence. It's maybe, we think we don't have the resources, or, something along those lines. But you always have the choice. Like, you can always ask for the resources. You can, along the lines of confidence. So there's I cannot remember. Yes, I can. I think her name is Amy Cuddy on TEDx, or TED Talks. TED Talks, probably. And she talks about, now the part that I'm remembering specifically at this moment is the person going in for a job interview. If you go into the building a few minutes early, go into the washroom and stand in front of the mirror with your chest out, your chin up, your hands on your hips, and you're standing in the physical position of power. And you give yourself, the pep talk, of course you can do this. You are extraordinary. You are so talented, and you know everything you need to know. And then you walk out of there to go to your interview. The chances of success are much higher. Because you go into it with that feeling of confidence. And so those are the kinds of things that you have at your disposal to help you feel just better about everything. When you feel better about everything, that's when better comes to you. So if there are things that are making you feel like you are limited, then change your perspective a bit, change your confidence level in whatever way you have to, and acknowledge all the resources you have. Acknowledge that truly not doing that thing is not a limitation, it's a choice. You're making that choice. You could do that if you wanted to and if you tried. There you go. Okay. Now, you are, okay, which one next, angels? Okay. It is time to explore different things. So for some of you, they're talking about adventures, like going to different places, exploring new places that you either haven't been or not for a long time. It's trying your hand at new things, right? To build new skills, to have new learning, all that kind of stuff. It's it's time to explore more options. And so I guess for some of you, this is could be job related, work related, or home or relationships. Those are really the big three, right? But it feels like for some of you, this is knowledge. This is enlightenment. exploring different ways to enrich your world and your life. And it feels very good. It feels very brave. It feels very fresh, like a lot of fresh air. It's really, oh, it makes you feel so good. And it's time to get going on those things. You've been thinking about it for a bit, I think, but it's time to get going on that. Okay? And this is absolutely a transformation for you. Like you like things to be settled. You like to know how you are, like your roots, your immediate future. You like to have that all just kind of set out for you. But you are experiencing this beautiful transformation. And you're okay. Some of you are sitting there going, okay, this does not feel beautiful. This feels chaotic and gross, and like things are just changing all the time. And I don't like that. I really don't like that. Yeah, it's got to get messy. It's got to get messy first. So I'm sure you've, seen this or heard this as a saying that a butterfly, as it is transforming, it's the worm, the caterpillar, whatever, that goes into the cocoon. And like all we see from the outside is that at some point then that opens and a beautiful butterfly emerges. But what happened in the meantime? That whole thing had to turn into a pile of goo and deconstruct itself and then rebuild in a more beautiful, more cohesive way. Here you go. Yes, it gets messy. Yes, it feels chaotic. But man, that result, so worth it. So worth it. And the serenity is coming. The chaos is just about over for you. That part, that rebuilding is just about, you've done it. And the joy of the serenity and the peace that you've created in your life is right there on your horizon. Okay, wow. And so here we have the daily guidance cards, and we will grab one last card asking for one more piece of wisdom before we go. Yeah, there is nothing to worry about. You can relax. Even the things that worldwide seem threatening, seem so, they make your heart hurt. Even all those kinds of things, there is nothing to worry about. There is an orderliness that we cannot always see. It's not necessarily a reason. That's not exactly how it goes. But it'll all come right in the end. So there's nothing for you to worry about. Okay, Cancer, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you just immensely. And I love you. And I'll see you next time.